Hey, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about something that does not get enough attention in AI engineering at all, and that is data cleaning or data sanitation. So first, what do I mean about data cleaning? For me, data cleaning is a process of preparing raw input data before it goes into the LLM. That can mean removing unnecessary noise, reducing content, masking sensitive information, using some regex, and make sure that data exists that actually is needed for the context of that LLM. For example, maybe your system is processing scraped web page content. Inside that data, you might have things like phone numbers, addresses, emails, social security numbers, API keys, other business information. If you were sending all that directly in an LLM without carefully thinking about it, that's a problem. But it's not just a privacy issue. We need to worry about the cost too, right? We remove these things, we protect these things, we can lower tokens, lower costs as well, which is great for businesses and great for everyone. So it's just not a security issue, but it's also a cost issue at the end of the day. And then there is quality. Cleaner input usually leads to better output. And that's what we're all looking for at the end of the day with these LLMs. We want special prompts, dynamic prompting, and we want to get those better outputs because that's going to give us better results for the tools that we're using it for. So when I think about sanitation for LLMs and data cleaning, I really think about three things. First, protecting sensitive data. This is the most important. Addresses, social security numbers. Second, reducing token costs. Third, improving output quality. For one of the mistakes I think a lot of developers make is stopping too early. A lot of people think the question is, how do I stop malicious attacks in the text or in the input? But the stronger question to think about, to grasp, is how do I design the system so malicious text has less power in the first place? This is a big shift in mindset. Because if you're working with scraped web pages, sensitive data, documents, any kind of third-party content, even after you remove the scripts, styles, images, all that unnecessary things we don't need for the LLM, for the input, it can still be untrusted, the text. Regex can be useful for small cleanup tasks. It can help remove certain patterns, mask obvious PII, personal information, especially phone numbers, addresses. But regex is not a standalone defense against prompt injection and malicious content. Okay, so now let me show you what this looks like in an example that I'm doing for one of my projects. I built an app that scrapes a portfolio. You put in a URL, it scrapes the website, sends that content after cleaning it into an LLM to generate feedback. The goal is to evaluate things like clarity, credibility, and overall user experience for that URL, for that web page. At first, that sounds simple. You scrape a web page. I'm using Beautiful Soup, Python's Beautiful Soup. Scrape the HTML, send it to the model. But raw HTML is full of stuff the model does not actually need. And Beautiful Soup actually makes this pretty easy. You can get rid of the script tags, style tags, navigation links, footer, buttons, repeated labels, that kind of stuff. All that increases token usage without adding much value. So you save money and there's no value being added, so it's more concise. The first transformation is basically I go from raw HTML with Beautiful Soup and clean it to visible text, the stuff that the user would actually see on that website. So removing all the meta tags, that kind of stuff. Because once the output looks readable, it's very tempting to think, okay, now it's clean and safe. But we have to start worrying, there shouldn't be much PII because it's a public website. And so even after I strip away the tags and all that kind of stuff, it can still have prompt injections in there of text and whatever to manipulate the LLM. So we want to remove those possible prompt injections, right? So to do that, a good way to do that is to pretty much tell the LLM via prompt and messages that this website, this content is pretty much untrusted content. We want to draw out some of the information, but we don't want to follow any kind of instructions in that content. So the main lesson here is that the data cleaning is not just one function. It's not just a regex helper. It is really a pipeline, right? We are doing some regex. We are doing some cleaning up of the HTML. We are prompting the LLM to not do anything direct that the text would say or instruct. And that is what makes this look strong to employers too. If you guys are doing this as like a side project, these are things, these are the talking points to stress in interviews and blog posts talking about data cleaning and how we data clean and clean up this data before, because this is one of the biggest business solutions and things that businesses look at. I mean, the fact that you can wire up LangChain and do some integration with LLMs is great, but if we can't make it secure, that's a big issue with anything regarding LLMs. When we look at AI engineering, the actual engineering of this product that we're working on, these are the engineering and data reliability aspects that are really important and can mitigate a lot of potential problems and save a lot of money. So thanks for checking this out. Hope that was informational and informative, and see you guys in the next video. Thanks.